A major break this morning in the investigation into the deaths of two Baltimore County siblings.
Baltimore County police say they've arrested and charged a teenager in connection with the shooting deaths of 15-year-old Giovanna Mayberry and her 9-year-old brother Steve Allen, who were found dead inside of their home in Gwynn Oak earlier this month.
Why were you carrying a gun in the first place? I mean, that was premeditated to me.
A phone buzzes in Gwynn Oak, Maryland. Nobody in that house knows it yet, but the next hour will end 2 young lives. 3 days before it happened, a 16-year-old boy sat on a FaceTime call with his girlfriend. A witness says he had a handgun in frame. And according to that witness, he told her exactly what would happen if she ever moved on to someone else. That threat sat quiet for 3 days. Then it stopped being words. By the end of this video, you'll understand 2 things. Why a 9-year-old boy with nothing to do with any of this became a victim. And why, even after an arrest, the most important piece of evidence in this case has still never been found. Giovanna Mayberry went by Gigi. She was 15, a student at Western High School, and she trained in karate and played golf. Her little brother Steve was 9. Everybody called him Pops. He loved Roblox and basketball, and his 10th birthday was days away. 2 months earlier, Gigi started talking to a 16-year-old named Keith Maurice James Jr. It played out on FaceTime, mostly invisible to the adults in the house, but not invisible to everyone. If cases like this keep you up at night, hit subscribe now, because it gets darker fast. A close friend of Gigi's saw Keith and Gigi together in person on July 4th. That same day, she says Keith made a threat. Investigators later found texts on Gigi's phone that matched her account almost exactly. 3 days later, Gigi mentioned Keith was coming by. That was the last normal thing anyone heard from her. By 7:20 that evening, her mother would find both of her children unresponsive. The threat had already been made. Now the evidence had to catch up to it. Here's your first answer. Why did a 9-year-old become a victim? You need the timeline first. July 7th, a regular Tuesday. Cell records placed a device tied to Keith near the Mayberry home that afternoon. Surveillance caught him stepping off a public bus half a mile away, just after 4 p.m., walking straight toward the neighborhood. About an hour later, different cameras caught him leaving. Boarding a second bus, headed back into the city. In between those 2 bus rides, something happened inside that house. A neighbor reported hearing an impact. Investigators used surrounding camera timestamps to narrow the window to around 5:08 p.m. At 7:20, the mother came home and found both children unresponsive. Chief Robert McCullough put it simply at the press conference. You can't go anywhere and not be on camera in Baltimore County. You can't go anywhere and not be seen. 4 threads pointed the same direction. The friend's account, the matching texts, the cell data, the bus footage. All before a single word was spoken in an interrogation room. Now the promise. Police believe Steve may not have been the target at all. McCullough said he could only speculate that Steve was a witness, an innocent bystander. Nothing confirmed, but if true, a 9-year-old died because he happened to be home. On July 21st, detectives sat down with Keith directly, and what he told them didn't match a single piece of evidence you just heard. The evidence was airtight, but Keith was about to say something that didn't add up at all. Here's the second answer we promised you, the missing weapon. But first, the lie. Keith confirmed the relationship. He confirmed July 4th. Then he told detectives he hadn't seen Gigi since. That was his story. Flat denial of July 7th entirely. And here's what didn't add up. Cell data placed his device near the house that afternoon. Bus cameras showed him walking straight toward the neighborhood. A second camera showed him leaving less than an hour later. He'd changed his shirt between the 2 sightings. Same shorts, same headphones, same backpack. No weapon was ever recovered, and to this day, police still haven't found it. That last point matters more than people realize. His own defense attorney brought it up publicly. I don't see anywhere in the charging document that police have recovered a weapon, a reporter noted directly to Keith's lawyer, Brian Thompson, in his press conference. No gun, no confirmed motive, and a denial that fell apart against 4 separate pieces of evidence. So if he wasn't there, why did every camera and every cell ping say otherwise? And if the weapon is still missing, where did it go? Tell us in the comments. Do you think the missing weapon changes this case? Or is the digital evidence already enough? The lie didn't hold, and the very next morning, it caught up with him completely. July 22nd, detectives came back with a warrant. Keith Maurice James Jr., arrested, charged as an adult, 2 counts of first-degree murder, a firearms charge on top of it. July 23rd, his first court appearance, by video link. His attorney asked the court to move him to a juvenile facility instead of an adult one. The judge said no, cited the severity of the charges, cited public safety. Keith stayed held, no bond. If you want to know when this case reaches trial, subscribe now. We're tracking every court date as it happens. Thompson stood in front of the cameras and asked the public to hold judgment. Our client, like every other citizen in the United States of America, is entitled to the presumption of innocence, he said. Keith entered a plea of not guilty. As of now, this case is still active. No trial date has been set. Here's the most unsettling part. Chief McCullough admitted, on camera, that the case affected him personally. The how troubling it was showed in my face and my demeanor that night, he said, describing the scene he walked into. A police chief, visibly shaken, in front of running cameras. Do you think a 16-year-old should be tried as an adult in a case like this? Tell us why in the comments. The system had made its move. Now it was the community's turn to grieve. On July 21st, before any of the courtroom back and forth, the community had already gathered. St. Casimir Church, Baltimore, filled wall to wall. Family, classmates, neighbors, everyone wearing black and yellow, Gigi and Steve's favorite colors. The service landed just days after what would have been Steve's 10th birthday. A neighbor summed up what the whole block was feeling. My son don't have his little buddy to play with no more, he said, describing the boy next door who used to wait on Steve every afternoon. The motive is still unconfirmed, the weapon is still missing, and the case is still moving through the courts with no trial date on the calendar. What's left is a question a lot of parents are quietly asking themselves right now. How well do you actually know who your kid is talking to on that phone? And how fast can something that looks small online turn into something nobody can undo? In one word, tell us what you think really went wrong here. If this case affected you the way it affected us, subscribe now. We'll be back the moment there's a verdict.